All right, we are green. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, the hits just keep on coming in an excellent way for us and not so great for the old gun control regime. It turns out that they weren't done with the ATF removal of the whole, zero policy thing. They had some more in store. This time, Bondi got a follow-up, and she just established something called a Second Amendment Task Force. Guys, we are just now starting to win. Pedal all the way to the frickin' floor. Throttle up. Let's go. As you guys get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because this is the place where we're going to push those rights forward, leave them better than we found them, and don't let YouTube interrupt that prescription freedom. That would not be cool. Audio, video is good. Excellent. Let's jump in, people. It is a beautiful evening to dive into this. All right. So per usual, we're going to jump over to my X account where all of this is sourced, and you can follow me there at BradenLOA. The last thing that we talked about was how Donald Trump pretty much just set China on fire with 100% tariff tonight at midnight. Anyway, different thing, but worthy of a note. Anyway, let's get into this. All right, so one of the things that I really want to hit on this before I show you what GOA said and as you guys are filtering in here. One of the big concerns was they weren't going to do anything. It was all lip service. Bondi was lip service. Kash Patel was lip service. Trump was lip service. It was all lip service just to get our vote, then they'd leave us alone. And to be quite candid, that kind of has precedent in the past. So it's not that far of a reach to explain or to see why people would believe that. However, when the opposite turns out to be true and is starting to get more and more evidence in the contrary to that narrative, we need to throw some love their way too, because this right here, this is a really good day for a Tuesday. All right, let's get into this. Gun Owners of America. Breaking. This is an hour ago, by the way. Department of Justice creates a Second Amendment task force. The memo reads, quote, "For too long, the Second Amendment, which establishes the fundamental individual right of Americans to keep and bear arms, has been treated as a second-class right, no more." Well, that sounds like Clarence Thomas's words. That's because it is. Quote, "It is the policy of this Department of Justice to use its full might to protect the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens." Okay, I'm here for this. Let's bring forward the Second Amendment Task Force. Let's talk about this. This sounds kind of like the little Office of White House Gun Violence Prevention, only on steroids, except going through the DOJ. Yeah, see, gun controllers, we can do it too. Only we're probably going to do it better. But anyway, that's not the point because we're constitutional and y'all aren't. But let me jump over to FPC because, guys, they're listening. Listen to this. This is why I wanted to do this video, other than the fact that it's amazing. I wanted to also show you what FPC was involved in because this story they tell on their X feed, it's pretty legit. All right. Today, the Firearms Policy Coalition announced priority policy reforms and urged the White House and the Department of Justice to take immediate and meaningful action to safeguard and support the rights of peaceable gun owners across the country. Listen to the follow-up post here. They tell a story that you need to know. All right, guys, the White House and the DOJ, they are clearly listening. All right, which is why you've got to tag them on X at AG Pamela Bondi and at FBI Director Kash Patel. Show them some love in there. All right, you can tag me on there too. It's cool. At BradenLOA. All right, let's get it. We submitted a report to the White House and the DOJ outlining numerous positive key reforms that the Trump administration can enact to address unconstitutional and burdensome rules, regulation, and enforcement practices. Does that sound familiar? Like how they just open up a review of the rule for pistol braces and a review of the rule for engaged in business, and they just destroyed the zero tolerance policy from the ATF? Guys, you're winning. Pedal to the frickin' floor, baby. Let's go. In our most recent meeting this past week, does that mean weekly? Does that mean quarterly? Does that mean monthly? I don't know. But if there's multiple, that's positive. White House staff confirmed that many of our proposals are being strongly considered and confirmed their willingness to entertain additional suggestions. You know, guys, if FPC and GOA are actively submitting feedback and actively submitting suggestions to pull gun control out of the federal government, especially in the bureaucracies, by the root in a very aggressive Kash Patel style approach, I'm okay with that. Let me show you this right here. Among numerous other proposed reforms, FPC is encouraging the White House and DOJ to, one, I'm going to go ahead and show more real quick, establish a Second Amendment czar. That one? Well, hold on a second. A dedicated official to coordinate and implement the administration's pro-rights policy agenda across the executive branch, from DOJ criminal prosecutions to civil litigation. That's really important. DOJ criminal prosecutions and civil litigation. Remind you of any names? The ATF, Department of Commerce, and more to ensure that all federal departments and agencies are aligned around protecting the right to keep and bear arms. This role would also serve as a liaison to ensure Second Amendment concerns are consistently addressed at the highest levels. So, I don't love the idea of czars. I mean, I get the idea that the czars exist. They're there. They're basically, they're effectively non-confirmed positions that serve at the pleasure of the president. They just called them czars. I don't love the name, but it's kind of like an Office of Gun Violence Prevention. It's the same principle, like I was saying. All right, so now here's the second one. This is the one that they just confirmed and did. 2, create and staff a First and Second Amendment section within the DOJ Civil Rights Division, a specialized section within the DOJ dedicated to addressing and litigating against unconstitutional laws, policies, and practices of state and local officials that violate the right to keep and bear arms and free speech. This is particularly necessary in and important to the residents of jurisdictions that are openly hostile to free speech and the Second Amendment. You ready for the jurisdictions? California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut, Hawaii, and others. Guys, that's the who's who of gun control states. If the DOJ uses this Second Amendment task force and starts looking at the request of FPC, all those states, we are in for 4 years of amazing times. But let's continue. Let's show what else they said in here. This is 3, and I believe 4 is coming after this. 3, enact massive National Firearms Act reforms, a comprehensive review and modernization initiative to remove or update outdated rules and processes, increase access to NFA-regulated arms, and speed processing with point-of-purchase processing and virtually instant background check responses, among other things. Okay, that one, I can hear the negative on that one of, well, you're just expediting a permission slip. I understand that. On the other side, you're trying to expedite paying a tax and getting it right. I have a little bit of an issue with those. I don't love it. I also understand that the NFA exists, which I don't love as well. So it's kind of like a whole big sandwich of I don't love it. But anyway, let's continue. Enactment of these critical proposals is necessary to protect the rights of millions of Americans from unconstitutional and immoral government overreach. This is why we respectfully call on the White House and Department of Justice to take immediate action to address these important issues and improve access to the right to keep and bear arms. On behalf of our members, we commend President Trump for the steps he has taken to protect the rights of gun owners, eagerly await his next actions, and look forward to continuing to work with his administration and DOJ leaders to protect the rights of peaceable people throughout the United States, said FPC President Brandon Combs. Fair. I dig it. I dig it. But guys, the bottom line here, and this is the most important part that you have to understand. FPC brought this to their attention at the DOJ, gave them an entire list of reforms of meetings that they're having, and I know multiple other people who are having meetings that I can't tell you about. I'm telling you, stuff is going down. They're listening. Yesterday, you had the zero tolerance rule destroyed. You got the review on the pistol brace rule and the engaged in business rule that just got opened up. Now you have a Second Amendment task force at the behest of FPC and GOA support. Guys, the time to pour this on is now. It is not a time to kick this in the balls. Keep this going. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Again, tag them, AG Pamela Bondi or Pam Bondi, and at FBI Director Kash Patel. You can tag me at Braden LOA in there too. You got to thank them. They've got to feel the love, because if they feel the love, that little dopamine hit is going to get them right back in the ring to do more. This is an important part of this process. I hope you guys enjoyed every second of this. I will see you on the next one, and I am Braden. Later.